चार्जिंग पे लगा के रखता हूँ बैकअप के लिए. Okay.
Are we live?
Are we live?
Okay. Yes.
They're alive. Kushag just did us proper.
So welcome guys, welcome to MUSC Red Devil NCR, and we are going to cover the preview about a game. It is about England versus USA. So it's like a game between the people of both the of one nation in different countries actually. So we are talking about a very, rock solid teams like England, who has beaten Iran 6-2 in the last game, and USA, who had a bit of glimpse against Wales when Gareth Bale came on the last minute and scored an equalizer to destroy the winning hopes. So I would like to welcome Vinayak Bhai, Vaibhav Bhai, Mojo Bhai, and a new comer, Shreyas Bhai. And wow, Ashka Panj is quite strong, man. Maza aega. So let's start with Vinayak, since USA supporter. So Vinayak, what's your take on USA versus England from USA point of view? You watched the last two games of both the teams. What is your view about that?
I feel like finally we're going to start calling it soccer because that USA team, as soon as they click, they're going to be so good. They have so many options off the bench. Like Gio Reyna didn't even play, and Gio Reyna is a baller, is a proper baller. So I can't wait for this team to actually click to show England what they've got, because England might have some injury concerns with Beckenbauer himself, Harry Maguire, maybe a doubt for this game. Harry Kane also might be in doubt. I'm sure he'll find a way to pull through and play, but USA is gonna like give this England team a few headaches, I'm sure.
And coming out Mojo sir. So sir, a very impressive win for England in the outing against Iran. Like 6-2. Looks like every card of Southgate has been doing good. Like Jack Grealish scored also. Even Marcus Rashford within a minute he came. Luke Shaw plays like Roberto Carlos for England. I don't know how. But हमारे लिए ऐसा कब खेलेगा? Then Harry Maguire and John Stones having that good duo at the back. So, what's your take on this USA team? Was pretty quick than Iran on counter, and they didn't have their all players who were playing for them in that last game, because, as when I said, that Gio Reyna was not there at all. He was on news as a sub also. Plus, there's a change in captaincy that I guess USA have the youngest captain in the World Cup. Like Pulisic's not leading the team because he will be used as a out and right. Like Gio Reyna and Pulisic would be changing substitution and all.
Look, like Vinayak said, and I totally agree, USA is going to give England a good game. But I'll be honest enough in saying, look, um, if you look at teams or if you look at players who could come on and make that difference, I am a little unknown quantity as far as players in American team is concerned. Apart from Test and Pulisic, I don't recall any other names that I've heard of as next door names. But that's where the catch is, because I'm pretty much sure that a lot of us sitting around when the planet that others are sitting around wouldn't have heard a lot of players from the USA team. But then, having said that, Iran, the way they lined up or the way they played, were there for the taking. I mean, it didn't require England to be there. I'm pretty much sure. Had it been some other team with that quality that England possess, um, it would have been a scoreline somewhere around the same levels. The good thing about the Iran game, though, is Southgate let the game flow rather than have his typical hold back, maintain the pace, play slow. England didn't do that. England were on the front foot, I would say, in a good part of 60 to 70 minutes of that game. And they pretty much, managed it all throughout. And they'll be the first ones to say that the two goals they conceded were pretty silly. But then goals are scored when somebody makes mistakes. So it's going to be a good game. I expect USA to give England a good game, but I still believe that England will have sufficient quality to see through this. It'll be a narrow win. It'll not be one of those crazy score lines like the Spain one or the England one versus Iran. It'll be a close game. But then who's to know? I mean, up until the 94th minute, Iran and Wales were heading for a draw, and then look what happened in the last 4 minutes. So Yeah, I expect it to be a tough game, but then I expect England will pull through.
So coming to Webber. Webber, it's a clash between the some prospect youngsters in that squad. Brendan Aronson, Serge Dest. Dest is playing like Barca bought him that way, but he's playing well for USA. Then you have Sir Josh Sargent, Christian Pulisic versus Bakayo Saka, the star boy of course, Harry Kane. Hope he plays because Conor Vincent also gave a good game when he came on. Then you have fullbacks as Trippier and Shaw, and also a midfield battle between Aronson and Foden. So, what's your take on both of the squad? Like they are both are very young, to be honest. They have quite an experience, but not that experienced squad. With what other teams are carrying with them.
I mean, look, this match has got me a sudden emotion of a frisson, basically, where I don't know what to, really expect because, as I said, both have got very young, energetic squad. But then again, look, it it comes down to how you perform in those 90 minutes, and a lot of would come down to what how the coach would set you up. you know I mean, as good as Bukayo Saka or Jude Bellingham might be, if you set England in a very, very defensive way, it's just a waste of their talent. We saw what Jude Bellingham and Bukayo Saka was all about in the last game when they were unleashed, as to say. you know but then again, you just never know with Southgate. Southgate is a pragmatic manager who may think, what, I've had a very good result. I mean, I wouldn't mind taking a draw at this stage. It's a strong team against USA, right? Maybe we could, hurt Wales, who are a bit down. Especially after that result, after that loss against, Iran. So look, I think it's going to be very, very interesting and interesting match. You talked about Pulisic, you talked about Dest, and like Mojo sir, I do not have that expertise in the USA lineup or the USA players broadly because I do not watch the MLS very often. But I mean, they have got some good players. I think one thing we need to take into consideration, which many small teams in this tournament has shown, is how they gel together. The likes of Japan and South Korea, even USA for that matter. You see these players gelling on and getting along so well, and playing as a team, right? Which to a certain point was or is missing in the bigger European teams. It could be anything, because of they do not play much together and stuff like that. So again, I see it's going to be a tough game. The matchups quality wise, I think, look, England have got the better youngster, hands down, right? You cannot really debate about that. You know, but then again, there can be some loopholes wherein the team USA can attack and basically can pinpoint those loopholes and play to their advantage. Maybe if get an early goal or something like that, or we've time and time again we've seen if England get an early goal, they go a bit defensive. Maybe you could attack them at that stage. So I think the game for today, for the youngsters, it would be great confidence booster, right? I mean, guys like Saka and Bellingham, I'm sure they would be buzzing. They would want to go far in the tournament. So yeah, I think it could be a massive game considering the youngsters' point of view for both the teams.
I believe after today's result of Wales versus Iran, it is quite shown that Iran is a team which is not keen of doing a joke. To be honest, what the fans said that they're gonna give a tough call to the another team, and the next team to face Iran is USA itself. So USA will be in a hope to take a point or a win from this game because they had a crucial draw against Wales, and Wales are heading next to England, and England can give them a good beating because the only player who can be seen in Wales is being Gareth Bale, and that guy is also like मैं अकेला कितना ही चला लूंगा. Now coming to this point to Shreyas bhai. First of all, welcome to the show, Shreyas bhai, new visiting, and Shreyas, it's gonna be a crucial battle between fullbacks and wingers in this game, like Dest versus Saka, and it's gonna be Shaw and Trippier versus Pulisic and Josh Sarden and Jordi Reyna. So what's your take on that?
So yeah, thanks, Pulkit, firstly, for having me here. Um, Also, I apologize for the dogs back in the background. They were kind of like deciding on which country will get to keep James Corden after this match. Um, but yeah, I think I kind of agree with everyone who said on the panel. I think we're up for an exciting match here. And like you said, there are a lot of players who are we're excited to see the battles between them and all the left backs, right backs that you mentioned. I particularly feel excited about Bukayo Saka, given his strong performance in the Premier League as well. And I mean, coming from my background, I kind of had some experience back in the UK, so I did my undergraduate, so I'm kind of like biased with the England team, and I hope it kind of comes home. But I still feel we're really up for an exciting match. I watched. I didn't get to watch the 6-1 victory over a 6-2 victory over Iran, but I think USA have been looking really strong. I think a lot of the players in the US have a lot of European experience. So I think having that kind of background kind of puts them up well with what we're seeing in the England team. So yeah, I think all in all, I think we're really looking forward for US to kind of push through, but I wouldn't put my bets on like England to sort of not fight back. So
Mm.
yeah, excited for that.
I mean, coming about this thing, I guess there are some players in that England's, in that USA squad, which I guess no one is hurt, but I'm pretty hurt and excited. It's like Musa, you have Reina, then Ricardo Pepe missed, but of course Josh Sargent. Then the captain itself, he plays for Leeds and he's been perfectly fit for replacing Cameron Phillips in that squad. So if we see there is a quite a battle between Declan Rice and Calvin Phillips versus the midfield what USA holds. Will it be attacking or will it be a counter pressing that they will be waiting for the 75th minute to do their substitutions? So coming on that, who will be the biggest impact of the game? And this is a question to everyone. So let's start एक एक करके. Okay, let's start with Vinayak. Who will be the biggest impactive player from both the side? एक इंग्लैंड से एक यूएसए से.
England, say, I feel if Bellingham starts, he's one guy who's an immediate X factor because of his height, his physicality, and because of how good he is, one on the ball and two off the ball. So he can be a real game changer and a real, as you said, as an impact player for England. Whereas for the US, it's got to be Christian Pulisic. He's so good. Like he's very good on the ball. He marshals his troops. He's a de facto captain in the side. He runs up and down. He makes those darting runs. He's quick. He can shoot. Like he's a complete footballer. And once he comes into his own, once he channels his inner Chelsea experience against the Brits, it's going to be a lot of fun to see him go about it.
That was legit shots on target from Christian Pulisic via Vinayak. Okay, good deal. Coming to Mojo sir. Mojo sir, you have lived in England and you know what US and England have the relations in the past World Cups. दोनों एक एक मैच जीते हैं. पहले यूएसए जीता था फिर इंग्लैंड जीता था. Now they are heading. So who will be the stars to watch out for?
I agree with Vinayak. I think if Bellingham plays, he'll be amongst the key playmakers. But then England के पास वो talent है. I mean, if you look at it, if Saka, Bellingham, Rashford, or for that matter, Madison, I mean, if these guys click, then England will be unstoppable. So any of them can have a brilliant game on their day. But I still believe that Southgate will start Bellingham and he will start Saka because that partnership was pretty decent, like Weber pointed out in the previous game. So, like they say, why change it if it ain't broken? So, I believe that he's going to start with the same 11. Whether he'll start Rashford up front, I don't know, given what's happened with Harry Kane. Whether Harry Kane, I think he's out, right? He's not going to be playing today.
No,
Harry Kane.
अभी उसका problem मतलब he's in the lineup. Like Southgate said that I will be going with the same lineup. He said in his
No, so
press conference.
Harry Kane starts then. I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
He is doubtful.
It-
मतलब वो after he can play till the half time. मतलब उसको बाद में बुला लेगा.
Right.
Like Neymar
Right.
वाला thing हुआ है कुछ. We are not sure that if he's there or
Right.
not.
So, I mean, look, it remains to be seen how England control the pace of the game and whether, USA are willing to, play that pressing game or they're just willing to wait for them, bide the time and hit England on the break. But hitting England on the break won't be easy because for the system that Southgate plays, they won't leave much behind for them to be, play through the channels or over the top. So I believe Bellingham and Saka. Let's see what Rashford can provide. Um, I mean, the back four picks itself, so there's going to be no surprises there. So that's where I am. Yeah, I think these two and Rashford, if he starts, can make that difference.
Okay, so coming to Shreyas Bhai, player to watch out for in defense. Dest versus Shaw, and you have a fight between Trippier versus let's take Pulisic. Like, अगर Pulisic को अगर like if they want to convert Pulisic as inverted winger that he can come from the back and hit on the counter. So
Hmm. I think Pulisic is definitely up there. I think we are expected to see a lot. Where I mean, Trippier, I feel is um, he does commit to the ball. I think he does commit to kind of taking that back, taking that long run whenever necessary to fall back and also apply pressure wherever necessary. So I think we might just see a little bit more. I also feel like even though I mean he's Western is kind of I think he's in the mid. Um, as a player, where is Weston McKinney kind of placed in the lineup? Is he playing defense mid? Because I still feel like he has a lot of like running and he does put in a bit of pressure. So um, I do see that happening. And then Declan Rice from England side would be something to watch out for.
coming to Weber भाई midfield battle and attack battle में आपको players pick करने हैं. I'm giving you three choices: George Sargent, Brandon Aronson, and Christian Pulisic. And let's keep Timothy Way. I just forgot about that guy. Timothy Way and Musa versus Sterling, Saka, Rash, Harry Kane. He's starting. Big news. Harry Kane is starting the game. Then Mount or Foden.
Oh, very interesting. Very interesting head to head, I believe. Look, I think with England on paper, yes, they're a very good squad. But then again, like I said, it depends on how they set up and with what formation they go in, right? Because you may be very good on the paper, but you need to execute your plans, right? With that sort of an attacking option, you need to go out there and attack, right? USA, yes, they are known for that quick passing and the quick play. They've got that connectivity with them very nicely, but then you need to break that USA defense very early on, like I said. And look, Pulkit, you may be forgetting one guy, Weston McKenna. I believe the Juventus player. He's also very good. So I think
But
USA.
his fitness issue. His fitness issue. The thing is he
Oh,
fit or not?
okay.
Yeah.
I think USA with Adams and Musa, they have a decent midfield, but I don't think it's as good as England's midfield, on paper. But we've seen how they performed previous game. I think attacking wise, look, Pulisic, he's been inconsistent, but he's been very, very good for USA. And he would certainly know his deal when he's playing against England. He knows many of the players, from first hand. He's had the Premier League experience. So I think Pulisic, like, Vinayak Bhai had mentioned, he would be key, right, for today's game. I would want somebody like a Mason Mount or a Harry Kane, who probably did not have that desired game the last time around, to go out there and have that good game, because it's very necessary. Because when you have every player clicking, right? Because you had such a good game last time around, you Saka, Sterling, Bellingham, Rashford, all of these players on the score sheet, right? Maybe if Harry Kane could get himself like what good one or two goals, or maybe if Mason Mount has a decent game, and the likes of Jack Grealish can chip in, it could be an all-round team performance. So I think this is really an opportunity for the England attackers to sort of get themselves into the groove and sort of take the confidence high, because you're just one game away from the knockout stages. And when by the time the group stage ends, you would want to, you as a team, you would want everyone to have that confidence, have that performance under the belt, because you do not want to be unsure as to whether that player has not been performing in the previous three games, or he's not been doing well in the group stages, right? So I think it's going to be key for the Englishmen in the attacking wise. USA, they can be a threat. The manager is very good. I think Bird Halter, his name is. If I'm pronouncing that, I think I'm
Vinayak.
pronouncing that. The USA manager, Bird Halter, if I'm not wrong. I think I'm pronouncing it.
Colbert or something. Yeah.
Yeah, Berhalter. Let's just say Berhalter. So yeah, I think I've seen him. I mean, I've seen his at masterclass thing, and he seems like this. He seems like this pretty decent manager who wants to play that, who wants to play that attacking football, who wants to play that pass and go football. So look, it could be difficult against England, because they usually are very good defensively. Attacking wise, we see what they've done to a team like Iran. But then again, this is US, so you just never know. But again, like I said, I think the England attackers have a slight edge in this game.
True. I mean, coming to the point, the lineups are out. So, as expected, USA have unleashed the full lineup. No player is on bench. Joe, I was expecting Hyoga. Only Jordi Reyna is on the bench. That's sad. But what you can do when you have McKenzie, Pulisic, Sargent, and Timothy Way starting in the front. Then for USA, it's the same front. For England, it's same front four. It's Mason Mount, Saka, Kane, and Sterling. So, does anyone have any question for not starting Foden over Mount for a case? Let's start with Mujo, sir. Sir, what is this thing with Gareth Southgate and Foden that he always plays Foden like after 65th minute?
I mean, I'm presuming that, um, I mean, having seen Southgate's way of playing for last what good part of 6 or 7 years, is it 6 to 7 years or probably 5 years? I don't know. But I think he looks at Foden as that kind of a extravagant player that he would want to bring on once the game is more or less secured. Um, because he Southgate doesn't like taking risks beyond what is necessary. So having a player who is extravagant, flamboyant, and then excuse me, risking his entire game plan by exposing himself on the in the midfield, because I very seldom. I mean, for Man City, he must be falling back and doing his defensive duties. But otherwise, in the England shirt, I see him not falling back with the midfield and contributing as he might or he should. So I believe that that's the only reason why. Excuse me, my voice is going. That Southgate might actually, or not might actually, but does bring him on in the later half of the games once he's more or less secured the result. I mean, if you recall, in the Euro finals, when you could have gone hell and leather and tried to beat Italy, Southgate just played ultra defensive. Italy just kept coming on to them, kept coming on to them. So, but that's what it is. I mean, he had players on the bench. He had those attackers on the bench he could have brought on. But then knowing Southgate, until as he's secured the game, he will not bring on those flair players and try to be flashy all over it. So maybe that's the reason.
Coming to Vinayak, your star boy has missed the squad. Jordi Reyna is not in the squad, but I'm happy with seeing Weston McKennie Phillips. You have Weston McKennie along with USA's का जो captain है. I always fuck up his name to be honest.
Tyler
And
Adams.
yeah, Tyler Adams. Then you have Musa, Timothy Way, Christian Pulisic, and in the front Josh Sargent. How is the team for you? Like, does Gio Reyna fills in the squad?
He can, but like the issue with Gio Reyna is that he plays in the position that Pulisic plays. So you can't really fit him in unless you like chuck out Wea. Wea's been in good form, and they don't really have a striker. They have Jesus Ferreira on the bench, but he's relatively unproven. He's been good in the MLS, but he's still unproven at the top level. They didn't take Ricardo Pepi for whatever reason. Maybe he was injured, maybe not. But either way, I feel like they should have taken more strikers. One player I'm surprised is missing out consistently is my favorite Leeds player, who is Brandon Aronson. He's been so good. He's so good creatively. He falls well between the lines and finds places to create, finds room to create. He's excellent on the ball, off the ball. He presses so well. He's just someone who's a complete package, and I feel can be a big difference maker to the US team. Should he fit into the system, which I'm not sure if he's fitting or not.
You think is it same with Southgate thing that USA manager is looking for a full counter attack first? That's why he's playing three in the mid with with two CDMs. If we see, he's playing with two CDMs and one camp, like something like similar of England.
It's possible. I feel that they've got runners on the ball with Pulisic and Weah, so it could be the case. I'm still unconvinced by Josh Sargent, to be honest.
Coming to Weber, bro, same back four of England. Matlab, Harry Maguire love for Southgate and Southgate loyalty for Harry Maguire continues. Views.
Look, again with Harry Maguire, I mean the system just suits him, isn't it? He's a centre back, who's slow compared to others. He needs protection around. He's got the protection of the full backs. He's got the two CDMs. So yeah, I mean it's all sunshine and roses for Harry Maguire. When he's in the England shirt, and many of the people often say, why does Luke Shaw become Roberto Carlos, or why does Harry Maguire become prime Maldini? I mean, the reason is simple. They're limited football players with limited attributes, and they want to play in a system which, to be very honest with you, even Sunderland has dropped. Even Sunderland do not play that defensive. But look, I think criticism aside, I expect Harry Maguire to have a good game as usual. He's been a very, very important player for England, and he's key to Southgate's success, right? Because just like Ollie, I think Harry Maguire is that sword on which Southgate would probably fall, right? But then, I mean, you just never know, yeah, because I mean, whether even if Southgate goes all attack, he would make sure the centre backs has got enough protections, right? He'll make sure his defense has got enough protection and enough, enough sort of ability, so that they can come back and defend and basically be on the ball. But then
Hmm.
again, when you have
I
a
won't be
manager,
surprised if he plays Harry Maguire in striker. कभी उसका मन करा इतना love है उससे, to be honest.
I mean,
So
look, with all due respect to Harry Maguire, he's got his 50th cap today.
yeah, congratulations
point.
to Harry Maguire achieving that. It's never an easy landmark, and I'm sure you must be proud of it. But look, I think look, the fact that Southgate does not play Phil Foden, the likes of Phil Foden, and before the World Cup, we saw he was not really letting Jude Bellingham in. It just shows the pragmatic approach of the manager, right? I mean, but that lineup sort of stinks to me as play counter-attacking football, sit deep, get the ball over the top, let Sterling make a run, or just find Harry Kane. It just stinks to me as a boring football. Where we are all gonna snooze, but then well, probably Southgate would nick it, or he would have that open game of open channels, and he would probably get two or three, and the English media would all sing trumpets of joy of it's coming home. So we never know.
Okay,
I
so
think
coming to
one more point I need to just add about um, uh, Harry Maguire, just because I think we're on that topic there. I don't know. It's something that when you see him at Manchester United versus when you see him kind of playing for England, he just turns into some different kind of player. Maybe there's some like magic Maldini that comes into him. I don't know. Like he's just something else because I don't know if you've seen some clips of him. Like he like in training he's doing this.
let let
Uh,
let me tell you a simple thing. Let me tell you it very simple. Ousmane Dembele in Barca and France in old days,
yeah,
and
yeah,
Longley in Spurs and Barca. Now Longley in Spurs and then in Barca. So it's pretty
yeah.
simple. This case system, if you fit, you suddenly grooms into that. So
That's true. I
I
think
mean,
yeah, that's true. Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
Okay, so coming to Shreya, so it's a battle between Robinson and Dest versus Trippier and Shaw. I mean, Dest को हम बहुत टाइम बाद start करते हुए देख रहे हैं because I have never seen him play in the club football, to be honest, for a year, or he's that bad to start as a right back for clubs.
Yeah, I think yeah, it's me neither. I think in Dest, I saw a few glimpses of it in when he was like playing at Barca. I mean, he's still at Barca, like he's playing at Barca, but I didn't see that too much of a that kind of X factor coming from him. And it's been very like tough to gauge what kind of a player he really is going forward, especially for USF, not like really. But I think he did play a little bit. I think it was either during the qualifiers or maybe it was like international friendlies where I did see like some bit of magic coming in from Test, where he would just take that ball from the wing and then take dribble around and kind of like score. And so there are things that we have not yet seen from him, and I'm expecting that he would kind of take his A game up and bring it up here. So yeah, I just hope like we see something from Test today.
Okay, so coming to the conclusions. Let's talk about final scores and the scorers of the game. And is it coming real home, or is it going to the English America or the real America? Let's start with that, because of course England is what USA, like USA is what English are made of. So simple. Chalo, let's start with Mojo sir. Sir, it's coming to real home or the man-made home?
देखो भाई, नाम जो होता है ना वो असली होता है, तो फुटबॉल नाम तो फुटबॉल ही है। ये सॉकर फॉकर जो है ना, ये बड़ी कंप्लीट वेस्ट ऑफ डिक्शनरी। So, I mean, I believe England will win today. I don't really care about the scoreline. It could be 1-0 in the Qatar extra time of 99th minute or 124th minute. I couldn't care. But I think England will just manage to go through the line. But then again, look, if I like I said, I don't know much about the USA players, but if I look at the English team as well, apart from the likes of Rashford, Phil Foden, and or Callum Wilson, I really don't think that he has enough on the bench who can come on and make much of a difference. If you need any difference to be made on the attacking wise, if by chance they are chasing the game, so that's going to be a bit of a bummer for them as well. So yeah, I mean a narrow England win, but asli naam football hai.
And let's come quickly to Weber. Weber, it's coming home or it's going to the another home?
God, it's. I mean, I'm sure the England fan must be cursing the songwriters of "It's Coming Home" because it's become the taunting myth, as to say. But no, in all seriousness, I think both the teams. I can see England winning this game 2-0. But again, I would love to see that legendary headline on New York Times. England play the massive 1-1. England win in a massive 1-1 draw. The best victory ever since, I mean, the best victory ever since whatever that, नीचे लिखा हुआ था. So I would love to, just for the headline in New York Times, that massive 1-1 win, I would love this game to be a draw. But I think England is going to win this game.
You know,
Acha, Vinayak,
Rohit Bhai in the comments says he mentioned about Grealish and Madison as players who could come on and make a difference. Madison has not really been in the best of forms through the season so far. So I don't know whether Southgate is going to be confident enough in bringing him on. Should he be chasing the game? God help. I mean, God forbid, no. But Grealish, yes, Grealish has worked in the Southgate system, especially during the Euros. So and he scored the goal. I think Grealish scored a goal in the first game. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, Grealish scored a goal, but I'm doubtful about Madison. And as far as Rohit Bhai is saying, it's not coming home. Rohit Bhai, जाके सो जाओ. It's your office times, man. Polish bridge loading. Please go home and go and attend your office, Rohit Bhai.
oh, मोजो सर का अंदर का इनर यूके रहने वाला मोड आ रहा है. It's coming home. I mean, Mojo sir is a guy who's been saying it's coming home from quite 10 years, and he's like, कब घर आ रहे हो?
No, look,
It's like,
I'll be honest enough in saying the reason why I support England is because your so-called formative years, ever since you grow 16, 17 till the time you graduate, etc. I spent a
mhm.
good part of my 9 years in England, and I just absolutely loved it. There it is. That's why I enjoy English football. I support them. But when it comes to cricket, I don't support them. Simple. लगान नहीं देने का.
लगान नहीं देना. True. Coming to Vinayak, what's your inner American is saying? It's coming home or it's coming to your home?
I think this time around football will win. I think it'll be like it's gonna be a 1-1 till Gareth Southgate brings on the real players off the bench. Then it'll be 3-1 to England.
Okay, not bad for the counter attack. Shreyas, it's coming to England or it's coming to USA?
No, no, for sure, England only. But I think it's going to be a tight fight back from. I expect a tight fight back from US. I'm giving it a 3-2 maybe because we've seen a few surprises, last minute surprises. So given now that we have like 10-minute, 90 minutes extra time, I guess we might just see some kind of like a some magic come out of like USA from like some random corner or something. I'm not sure, but like I'm expecting it to be a good fight. So 3-2 for my end.
Okay, now it's me that. I guess it's coming to the New York Times that USA had that sneaky 1-0 win. And Joe Biden will be congratulating the UK's Prime Minister. Bro, it's coming home. And you are going to India. Bye bye. Chalo, that's what is from MUSC Red Devil NCR. It was great to cover, and the game is starting soon. The lineups are out. जो जो इंग्लिश के फैंस है गेट रेडी जो जो यूएसए के फैंस है गेट रेडी एंड या इट्स गोना बी सॉकर वर्सेस फुटबॉल सो जिसको आप सपोर्ट
I
कर
mean,
रहे हो कर लो
in the total head-to-heads that England and USA have played, if whatever data I was able to check upon is right, I think they've played 4 or 5 times head-to-head. And if I recall correctly, what that data showed was England have won thrice and America once. And in the World Cup, they have met just once, and I think it was a draw or 1-1, yeah. So,
Yeah, 1-1 2010 World Cup.
yeah, so, and none of those games, none of the 4 or 5 games that they played have ever been prolific scores. They've been narrow wins for England, and that one draw in the World Cup was again a 1-1. It wasn't like it was a 3-all or whatever. So it's going to be a close game.
मुझे सर दैट वर्ल्ड कप वाज अंडर 2000 और बिफोर 2000 मतलब याद तो रहे ऐसा भी होगी
It was after 2000.
ओके सेफ ओके
2000,
2010.
2000 से पहले तो फुटबॉल टीम्स exist in the US. वो बस इधर उधर बस बॉल घुमा दिया करते थे, बस फुटबॉल चल रहा है उनका, बस वही हो रहा था.
ओके सो दैट्स व्हाई इट बिकेम सॉकर चलो
Yeah.
cool so that's it guys good night and hope it's coming anyone's home USA or UK.
All right. Take care, guys. Thank you.
And don't forget to
Football,
subscribe, like,
man,
and share.
Good
Yeah.
night, everyone. GGMU.
it's gonna